Welcome to the TV Dome. Be inside.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the TV Dome. This program is brought to you by the Fulldome Festival Foundation, host of the Jena Fulldome Festival. It's a non-profit organization that supports Fulldome activities all over the world. My name is Mickey Rehmann, and I'm trying to invite as many of the experts and enthusiasts of the Fulldome world into the studio. Some may show up here in person. Others we have to beam me up Scotty-like. And I'm very excited that today's guest is Dario Tiveron, our Italian friend and founder of the Fulldome Database. It's a very important organization. And without further ado, I'll check and see where he might appear. I think it will be in this direction. So I'll ask Dario Tiveron to appear now. Is he there?
Well, yeah, Mickey, I'm here. Hi.
Oh, Dario, nice to see you. Look around where you are.
Yeah, no, I'm in Padova in my studio in Italy, but it looks, wow.
Well,
is this how your mind looks like inside?
Yes, this is how my mind looks, basically from the inside. It's a 360-degree mind, and I'm very happy that you are a part of this 360-degree environment. Dario, greetings to Italy. I hope you had a nice lunch, and yes, he had. Now, we are talking about domes, the significance of the 360-degree immersive world in general, and in particular about your career as an astronomer and Fulldome enthusiast and founder of the Fulldome Database. So that's the introduction, and now it's all yours. Tell us, what is the FDDB, as we all know is the short version for the Fulldome Database?
Okay, well, thanks for having me here, and it's such an amazing place, and I'm pretty happy to talk about my project. So let's start from the beginning. I've been in the first planetarium for the first time ever when I was like 16, and I started working on an organization that was here in Padova, and I was helping people and teaching, youngsters to learn the basics about astronomy, and I just love the planetariums. Then I moved into the university. I studied astronomy and then physics. And then I studied my PhD, and then something called me back. I was living in UK at that time, and I went back to my own place. And in that year, it was 2009, the city was building a planetarium. So I started working at the new planetarium in Padova when it was open in 2009. And for the first years, I was just, making shows, being the presenter of the planetarium, trying to make the public aware of the medium I was working in. And then I got the chance to go and attend the Fulldome UK event that was up in Birmingham, and that was 2011. And that was my very first time entering this amazing community we are all part of. And I learned a very, very interesting thing. I learned that I knew nothing about what was going on in the world, in the Fulldome field. I was managing my planetarium, I was running the shows, people would come, they were happy, but still I was not aware of what's available worldwide in the planetarium business. And at Fulldome UK, I came to meet a lot of people from having different perspectives compared to mine. There were artists, there were animators, creative people, and I was a pretty technical guy from the astronomy field, and I loved to see how the domes could be used outside of stars and galaxies that, of course, I love, but also there is much more that can be done in the planetarium business. And at that time, that I think it was the very first time we met, and it was
I remember that, yes.
Yeah. And at that time, the final panel, we all sat together, we were talking, and people were asking, what can we do to help the full dome medium market, business, love, whatever, grow? And I didn't have an answer. But when I flew back to Italy, I was still thinking about how I could help this grow. And the most obvious, the simplest idea was to build a website about Full Dome. A sort of, let's say, an online hub where people would come and learn what's available in this field.
So may I interrupt you there at this point, because this is great, because now we are in the present moment, and I invite everybody in the Dome community, everybody who watches this program, to check www.fddb.org, because this is where all the wealth of the Full Dome world is assembled, that you have assembled, Dario. And looking at this website really gives you an impression as to, you mentioned the early days, which is just recently, 2011. Full Dome is a very young medium, but it's developed fast, and it has some great players. And your ambition it is to bring all these facets, all these perspectives into a website that is transparent and informative, and now it's all there. And as you mentioned, domes, Full Dome is related to planetariums, but it's not identical to planetariums. It comes
Correct.
in and out of planetariums. It moves to mobile domes. It moves to very different places. And it seems a very hard job. And I would ask you about this. What is the common denominator of a student art show, of a visual music show, of a serious earth science show, of astronomy shows? All these things use the medium of Full Dome, and they are somewhat related, but also some are worlds apart. How does this, where are the common denominators there?
Well, I think the key, and that of course is my personal view, but the key is the kind of feeling and emotion people feel once they experience Full Dome. So it doesn't really matter, as you said, if you're watching an astronomical documentary or maybe a terrifying film short done for the Dome, still you can touch emotions and feelings in people. And the denominator of this medium is the format itself, because you're not just watching a TV, a frame or a cinema where you have your content in front of you and people behind you eating popcorns. You are inside a virtual world that is consistent. If you look at the back, you see different things, and it doesn't really matter the kind of message the producer is sharing with the public. It's the way it does this. And of course, there are good ways, effective ways, and other ways that are not so good. But this goes back to techniques and so on. But the denominator, I think, is the emotion and feeling that people have inside the planetarium.
Thank you. That's a very strong message. It basically confirms that the format is the message. And as long as you really skillfully and aesthetically mature use the 360-degree medium, take whatever message you feel like you want to communicate, but it will have a different kind of impact on the audience compared to flat world TV. Now, the fun is that we are basically here at the Salve studio in a flat world, but at the same time, we're trying to cross the threshold into the 360-degree emotional, wonderful world all around us. And this is why we are making an effort to get whet people's appetite for the 360-degree world. And I think you are doing a great job in helping to promote this. Now, we've seen a steady and substantial evolution in the art of Full Dome over the last 10 or 15 years. We still realize that Full Dome is a minority medium, but there's hope to, well, what are we hoping for? What is the next evolutionary level that the medium of Full Dome can achieve substantially for the artists, for the producers, for the industry, for the general audience, for the emotion in 360 degrees?
Well, I think there are many answers for this question. The first one that comes to my mind is the storytelling. The storytelling in Fulldome is very, very different from cinema or even Hollywood movies. It's very different, and Hollywood productions had tens of years to perfection. Fulldome is a very young medium, and the storytelling has been studied. Like Germany and the United States, you have very specialized courses for Fulldome media production. But it's still very unique and not very spread around the world. And I think the storytelling can evolve a lot, really a lot. And by evolving, it will bring together new stories, new plots, and new ways to bring the audience into this virtual world. So I think this is really still the biggest thing that can be explored.
Great.
And the second that comes to my mind would be interactivity. And that works on so many different levels. Like you said, people are amazed and they just go, wow, looking at the dome. But if you look at the public below the dome in the theater, you realize that it's not just changing the way it experiences the frame, that it doesn't exist anymore. They also change the way they interact with each other because they are aligned in different ways, and when they talk, they hear the noise from everywhere. So it's very different, and they experience something together that it's all around them as a group. And so this has a very, very big potential to be explored with interactivity.
That's it. I mean, we are interacting right now. We communicate as if you are really here, which is in a way the fact. And I'm glad you mentioned the importance of storytelling. And of course, there'll be great surprises ahead of us to see the evolution of how do you place a story where some bear, some Native American monster is coming from there and it looks like a deer. And then I'm trying to move away and there's an owl looking at me from behind. And what does this owl say? And the moment I'm trying to figure it out, it's gone. So many of these stories need telling, and they need a 360-degree approach to direction and storytelling and sonification. Mm-hmm. We hope to live long enough to see it evolve fast and furious and beautiful.
I'm pretty sure we are going to live enough. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Thanks for being on board.
It's necessary.
Yes, living long is a very necessary 360-degree endeavor. Needless to say that as our sponsor is the Fulldome Festival Foundation, the Jena Fulldome Festival, which we are always happy to see you there and anywhere where that we meet. We met on the plane once going to the Immersive Summit by chance. Fun. Well, these are the chances. And the Jena Fulldome Festival, of course, has the ambition of bringing together the artists, the producers, the managers, everybody's who has some stakes in the enthusiastic and emotional 360-degree immersive Fulldome world, like you. And Dario, I think this was a very informative and wonderful introduction to where are you, who are you, what is FDDB, and where is the Fulldome world going to? Do you want to have a final, well, maybe a message, maybe a saying, maybe an Italian curse or anything, or a good wish for the Dome world?
Well, actually, it's a statement that, like something that I want to say to whoever is watching us. And
the whole world is watching.
FDDB has been growing a lot, and in the last year, it's been growing so much that I realized it doesn't work, as perfectly as I wanted. So I hired 2 web developers, and we've been working on a completely new, rewritten from scratch website. and I can't wait to release it. It's about 2 months away from now, but it will surely be ready by the next Fulldome Festival in Jena, and it will be very, very, very easy for anybody interested and involved in the Fulldome media to add content, and it will be much easier than it is now. And this is in a way to go towards the users rather than the producers.
Okay, I'll take your word, and I promise you this program will stay online long enough for your website to be updated. And but
Okay.
even now, it's worth checking FDDB.org. So I think our technicians will insert that address. And so, Dario, it's been wonderful to talk to you. You are part of an amazing, mind-boggling 360-degree studio design, which I'm very happy that Salve offers this opportunity to create flat TV and bounce into 360-degree worlds. Hope to see you soon. Take care.
Real life and shaking your real hand. And thank you for having me here.
Okay. Thank you, Dario. Goodbye. Arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's program, talking to Dario Tiveron from Padua, live in the Dome. You've seen him almost as real as if he was here like me. And stay tuned, there'll be more programs in the TV Dome. Thank you and good night, or good morning, wherever you're watching.